guys, welcome back to another episode of Lead and Learn with Occupational Health and Safety. My name is Amo Mulema. Thank you for joining me guys on my channel. Please remember to subscribe to the channel, like the videos, also add on the comment section. I'd like to know who's watching. Safety officers, safety reps, safety managers even, or people who are aspiring to be safety personnel. Maybe you just want to get to know more about safety, you just want to know what safety is all about. Please just let me know in the comment sections. Now let's jump right into it. On today's topic, guys, we're going to discuss induction. What is induction exactly? What is the importance of induction, and who should be inducted, and what are some general things to include in a typical induction? Now, our point number one, what is induction? Induction, guys, I would say that it's actually derived from Section 13 of the Act. Section 13 of the Act is duty to inform. That is the legal obligation of the employer to inform his employees about any hazards that may be found on site and the control measures of the hazards that are found on site. So induction is actually a duty to inform. It's a legal obligation. Now, what is the purpose and the importance of induction? The purpose of induction, number one, it is to give the general hazards that are found on site. It is also to show what are the mitigation measures of the hazards that have been found. What are the mitigation measures that have been implemented to control those hazards? Number two, it's also to introduce the employees to the general site. For example, to let the employees know where the toilets are, the change rooms and eating areas are, and also to let them know what is our evacuation procedures on the site. And number three is also to let the employees know about the general rules and regulations that we have on the site, and also to let them know what are the consequences that they will face if they do not abide by these rules. Because remember, outside of the Act and all of its regulations, we also have site-specific rules. So it is to let them know about those rules that we have on site and what are the rules, and then should they go against the rules, what are the what could happen if they go against the rules. And also, another important aspect of induction is always to remember that induction is site specific. Why is it's site specific? Because sites are different everywhere you go. Hazards are different. Mitigation measures are going to be different for the hazards that you implement because the site is different. So those are some important aspects that we need to remember when we're talking about safety induction. Now, who should be inducted? I think there's two types of people that need to be inducted. Employees and visitors need to be inducted. Now, these are employees who perform any kind of work within the workspace, or that have to produce, use, handle, store, process, or transport anything within the workplace, or employees who have to operate or service a plant or a machinery within the workplace. That falls under the umbrella of employees. Those are employees that have to be inducted. And also now visitors who come in to the site to view or just to give an opinion about site or for quality control. Now those would be, for example, engineers that come in and check work, quality officers, or maybe even clients who are potential clients who are interested in buying whatever you guys are making, building, selling. Or even maybe the client himself is just interested in coming to have a look at the progress on site. He will also have to get his visitor's induction. Now, what are some of the contents of a typical induction? What are some of the things to expect or to give when you're giving an induction? Because now you're a safety personnel, you're giving induction. Now I'll start with the visitors induction. Visitors induction is usually very small, very light, very short also, because remember, you're not giving him the whole thing. You're just giving him what are the general hazards on site and what are the mitigation measures that are employed on the site. You will also let the visitors know about the site rules that we have on site. What are some of the site rules that they need to abide by? And then the PPE that is also necessary for visitors. Now for visitors, I would usually say the PPE would just be a hard hat, a reflector, and safety shoes. They don't really have to go into deep PPE. And then also, visitors need to be informed that they need to report to site before they go to site. They need to report to the site office before they go to site and after they have came back from site. Okay. Now, going into employees induction. Now, the employees induction is comprehensive. It's a mouthful. Usually would be long because now you want to give them every single thing, every single piece of the cake, from hazards to every single hazard that is involved in the site or in the workplace, to every single mitigation that is employed to control the hazards, right? I mean, I've been to inductions that take about 2 days. I've also been to inductions that take about 2 hours. Just depends on the site. Like we have said that inductions are site specific, so it'll depend on the site, the type of induction that you would get. Some of the content that I would include in the employees induction would be site rules. They need to know what are our site rules, our own site rules, outside of the laws and the regulations and the acts. They need to know what are some of our site rules, right? And their employees' duties, responsibilities, and also their rights. Employees need to know what they have to do. They need to know what they are obligated to do. What also they need to know is what they have a right to, you know. So it would be very important to let the employees know what is their duties, their responsibilities, and their rights. And then also I would like to inform employees on HIRA methods. HIRA methods, what do I mean? I mean, what is our methods generally for risk identifications, for hazard identification, for risk assessment, and for control measures implementations. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is we need to let employees know how do we identify hazards on site. As soon as you have identified a hazard on site, what do you do with that hazard? How do you control it? How do you first make a risk assessment? Obviously, I'm not saying like do a whole risk assessment, like, okay, what is the task? What is the possible hazard? What is the possible injuries? No, but as to what could go wrong, how can I avoid it to go wrong? Also, I would include company policies in our induction. Company policies, like what are some of the policies that the employee needs to abide by, needs to know, could be for his benefit or for the protection of the company, could be for actually they're for both. Policies are there for both the protection of the company and the protection of the employee. So it would be important to include that in employees induction. I would also let them know of the emergency response procedures. I would let them know of who is our emergency response personnel. Let them know of first aiders, firefighters, first aiders and firefighters on site. Just let them know who are they by name. Let them have their names displayed somewhere on site. Let them have their contact details also displayed somewhere on site. Also let them know of emergency evacuation procedures. In this case, I mean like, what is our alarm sounds? How many times does our alarm sound go off? And what type of an alarm sound do we have? Like, for example, maybe we would ring a bell for fire threat, or would sound a sound horn for a bomb threat, or maybe it's just an evacuation drill. So it just, those kind of emergency response situations, like you would just like to let them know those kind of things. And then also you would like to introduce them to the professional team. You'd like to let them know who's their CEO, who are the guys working for, number one. You'd also like to let them know who is their site supervisor, their site agents, their site foreman, their site SHREP, as to who they need to report incidences to. And also, you would like to let them know of the incident reporting procedure. What is an incident to report? What does it look like? What and when and to who to report the incident to, right? And also, I would also like to let them know of to always have a proof of induction on them. Always have a proof of induction on them. What is the reason that they need to have a proof of induction? Proof of induction is so that the client, the inspector, or anybody else who's interested in coming onto our site for in auditing reasons maybe, or inspection reasons, they know that people who are on the site have been inducted. So it would be also nice to let them know to always have a proof of induction on them. Proof of induction could also be used for an access control. You know that people that are in this area or in this workplace have been inducted, and those without this certain this type of proof of induction cannot be on the site, because then it shows that they have not been inducted. That is induction and the importance of induction. And always to remember that, guys, induction, it's actually a legal requirement. It's not something that should be brushed off or something that should be taken lightly, but it's something that should happen. It's actually something that is very important, because in the case of an incident, we would really like to know, well, by we, I would rather say the state would like to know, or the hospital would like to know, whether this person was made aware of the hazards on site. Did they know what they are doing? Did they know that they are walking into a hazardous area? So induction is very important. It is a legal requirement. It's not just for fun. It's an important aspect of health and safety, and I hope you guys have learned something from me today. If you guys have any comments that you would like to make, or anything that you'd like to add about safety induction, some of the safety induction rules that you guys have heard on different sites that you've been to, let me know in the comment section, guys. Let me know some, maybe even the most craziest things that you've heard in inductions. I mean, remember, like I said, different site, different rules. So let me know some of the most craziest, some of the most helpful, some of the most some of the most craziest things. I mean, induction can go real crazy, but also remember, induction can go really, really helpful. So thank you guys for your time. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Please remember to subscribe to the channel, like the videos, and also mark the register. Let me know who's watching. Thank you for your time. Ciao.